Will the real i1000 please stand up?
Go through these buttons here. We've got 3 buttons from left to right. We have the menu button, kind of there's the M there, and we have the selector button, which doubles as a mode button between video and photo, and it also is a selector button when you're navigating the menu. This button here with the triangle in it is your file lock. If you press that button when you're recording, it saves that video and won't loop over it when it gets to the end. And of course, that's the SD card slot. As always, the Class 10 card does provide the best video, and this camera supports up to a 32 gig SD card. Over here, you've got your mic on and off button on the right, and the begin record or stop record button on the left. They also function as up-down arrows when you're navigating the menu. Not much on this side, just your power. And then on this side, we've got your, this is where the where'd that go? That's where the USB goes in, your mini USB connector. And then this is your power button, your reset button, your AV out, and something else having to do with the battery. The other camera has a different marking there as well. I think that's another way to charge it, perhaps. Okay, so we've got the camera on. Let's go through the menu functions. Up in here, you can see it's got it's set for 720p right now. Let's hit the menu button. This gives you an option to go from VGA to 720p. I can't think of a reason to go back to VGA. This, I don't know what the RT means, but this is your file size. It'll record for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or you've got continuous. And you've got some options on this camera that are a little bit odd. This is one of them. You have the ability to change the setup on the camera. Set it for sunlight, fluorescence, cloudy sky, tungsten, or auto. Let's go back. Right here we have your exposure settings. We have a range between -3 and +3. This is kind of a funny feature here, color. You can set your camera up in black and white. You set it up in negative. Set it up in something called ancient. I don't know what that is. Or or light blue, which kind of looks green today. Or back to null, which is nothing, no effect applied. The auto detect feature, I have no idea what that does. Let's just leave it on just for fun. We have a watermark, which we can apply to our videos so that we know who shot the video. No one else can use it without your permission. It's an easy way to protect your copyright if you're using these videos. Audio on and off. Auto record on, off. I don't know what the charge video means. I leave it on so that as soon as I give it power, it starts to record as soon as I turn the ignition on. Language, there's plenty to choose from. Let's just stay in English. Frequency, again, you can choose between 50 Hertz and 60 Hertz. That's the refresh rate. It just helps reduce the flicker. The higher you can have it, the less flicker you get in the videos, the better quality you're going to get. Fill light, on or off. Haven't noticed any difference with that on or off. Shutdown time, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, or off completely. It won't shut down, it'll stay on. The camera, that's power to the camera. Ketone, that's the little beeping noises it makes when I press the buttons. Auto backlight off. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or I have it completely off. Let's turn it to 3 minutes. There's really no difference. G sensor settings, I've got it set to high. You got high, medium, low, or off. That's, of course, if somebody hits you, that'll turn on as long as there's power to the unit if the camera's off. TV out. That's pretty straightforward. You can choose PAL if you're in Europe or Asia, or in NTSC if you're in North America. Date set. Format the card. System info. There's a firmware version on here. I haven't tried to update the firmware on this camera yet. I'm not sure what the procedure is for that, but I don't see any purpose in doing that. Anyway, that's what you get with the menu. It's pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. Of course, you got the blue light to indicate that it's recording. You've got the red light to indicate that you've got power. It uses a T style to sit on the windshield. Just slides on and off like that. And if the suction cup has a good mount, there we go. Mic on or off, record on or off. There's no card in there at the moment. It's pretty straightforward. Camera rotates quite a bit. Suppose you could watch for planes if you wanted to, or you can look at your dash or your steering wheel, or even yourself upside down. Anyway, let's see what it does on the road.
the lettering on the camera body, on the connectors, is pretty insignificant. The only significant difference between these two versions of this camera is that one records the video into the H.264 file format, and the other one uses the .mov or Quicktime file format. Now, my video editor does not like the Quicktime file format. I'm not sure why. It has issues with it. And the H.264 is a much smaller size than the Quicktime. It manages to compress the file into a much smaller size without losing any significant quality. So to sum up the i1000 review, if you can live with a camera that's not 1080p, if you're happy with 720p, it's got decent quality video during the day. Night vision isn't too bad. It's much better than even some of the more expensive cameras out there. The rear cam is limited. It's pretty much useless during the night, which is why I didn't show it. And it's pretty poor quality during the day, but it might cover your ass. And it's under $50, so I recommend a camera. And one of them comes with this snazzy keyring.